All right, so what happened here? How could something like this happen? Prevailing view seems to be it was an accident, but I think it's way premature, don't you, to declare it an accident? There's so much we don't know, but these guys will know a lot more than I know, and maybe you know. James Mercanti is a maritime attorney, and he is the president of the Board of Commissioners of Pilots of the state of New York and a retired captain in the U.S. Navy. Welcome, sir. And Captain Sean P. Tortora, Master Mariner with 25 years at sea, a graduate of SUNY Maritime, by the way. Captain Tortora, first to you. Your impression of what we saw, what are we missing? What do you make of this thing?
Well, thank you, Greg. And of course, my thoughts go to the people that are missing right now. But it appears that obviously they lost the plant or their main propulsion. And then it looks like the emergency diesel, which is the emergency generator, which powers the emergency systems, lit off, and it has to light off automatically and no more than 45 seconds. It looks like that happened, and then it looks like they had another power loss. One of the questions I came up with is, as soon as they were having issues, I'd like to know why they didn't drop the anchor, because the anchors, when you're coming in and out of port, they're ready to let go, and just for this kind of case.
I heard they did drop one of the anchors. I don't know. James Mercanti.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, I did hear that on a report. Who knows? Look, the NTSB is barely putting out anything right now. James Mercanti, I got to tell you, I think the emphasis on accident is a little bit premature, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, good to see you again, Greg. Look, I've heard a lot of people send me text messages, emails, whether I think this was something intentional or a cybersecurity breach or some type of terrorist act. But look, I've been the pilot commissioner and the president of the pilot commission in the Port of New York, almost 3 decades now, and I'm a maritime casualty lawyer. That's my career with Gallo, Vitucci, and Clark. So we see these loss of propulsions regularly. So that's really something that's got to be looked at. That probably the most that we see in New York Harbor, as far as incidents go, is loss of propulsions. As Captain Tortora said, loss of the plant, loss of steering. If you recall, Greg, I know you're a former military man, the USS John S. McCain, when it had its casualty with a tanker called the Olnik in the Singapore Straits, that high-tech $180 million Navy ship lost steering in the Singapore Strait and cut right in front of the path of a tanker. This does happen, and the Navy crew, for some reason, wasn't prepared to deal with the loss of steering with all the gadgets and the technology and the red buttons and the green buttons and the screen. And I'm pretty confident that what happened here is a loss of propulsion. Look, at first when I saw the thick black smoke, I thought perhaps it was a fire in the engine room. Now, that is probably something that's not ruled out yet. There's recently fires on cruise ships. We see them, and fires do happen in engine rooms.
All right, let me jump in about the bridge, though. Hitting the bridge, I heard various estimates. It was going 6 knots, 9 knots. Are you surprised? I know you're not bridge engineers or experts, but I'm a little surprised that a massive concrete pylon couldn't absorb a ship that appears to be going somewhat slow, in my layman's opinion. Captain?
Well, the ship's almost 100,000 ton ship, and it is a massive amount of force that's going to hit those stanchions. So that doesn't surprise me that it could do that kind of damage at all. We have ship strikes on bridges all the time. We had one in California 15 years ago at the Costco Buson. We have many ship strikes. In fact, there was one on in the inland waters that caused quite a bit of damage with the railroad bridge. That caused some change in the maritime regulations. Actually,
let me ask you this: this bridge is less than. I'm sorry. The ship, I believe, is less than 10 years old. And James, you were talking about all the bells and whistles on some of these advanced ships. Are there perhaps too many bells and whistles on the advanced ships? And maybe too technical, too many systems, and maybe a good old-fashioned mechanical link between the steering wheel and the rudder would be preferred?
Yeah, I mean, the ship, as you said, Greg, the ship was built in 2015 and 2017. This is a very new container ship, but very, very large, over 3 football fields long, and very, very heavy. It was over 150 feet wide. So, but yes, the advancement in technology in the John S. McCain collision was a major factor in that collision. And here, what will be interesting, Greg, is that these ships have the functional equivalent of a black box, which I know from your helicopter days you're familiar with. They call it the VDR, the Voyage Data Recorder. So everything that's said on that bridge, to drop the anchor, to increase speed, to whatever happened, the communications between the pilot and the captain is all going to come out in the NTSB investigation.
Right.
Word for word, there'll be a transcript of that. And that's second by second, which includes the speeds and the courses and the communications.
Right. Hey, I want to show you another angle to this, which actually, strangely enough, we found hasn't received all that much attention. But take a look at this. It's a close-up. And I don't know if it tells you anything more, but it's closer. And somebody was recording it. I don't know what the heck they were doing at 1:30 in the morning recording random ships going under bridges. It's not exactly worthy of an Instagram. It's not an Instagram moment. So if I could see it one more time, do either of you gentlemen see anything that you didn't see before in this? Take a look one more time.
Well, it certainly looks like, and to answer your question of how the bridge can collapse, it was a direct hit. This was not a glancing blow, a side swipe. This ship was well off course, and it hit that stanchion head on. And these bridges, since 9/11, all these bridges have surveillance cameras on them.
Right.
So I'm not surprised that we have a fair amount of footage, not only from the bridge, but I don't know that angle, whether it was, I doubt it was from a boater at 1:30 in the morning taking videos, but it could have been from another structure or another port, another landside structure that captured.
No. It was somebody holding a camera.
Okay.
We know that. Yeah, it was somebody holding a camera.
Yeah, that's
hey,
amazing.
James Mercanti, thank you. Captain Sean Tortora, thank you. Hey, real quick, longest period with 25 years at sea, the longest period you were out at sea?
I was out at sea straight without hitting land for over 128 days, but I did one deployment, was 22 months.
Wow, 128 days. Do you get a special, I don't know, do you get anything special for that? In the Navy, they gave you beer after 30 days, I think. I think it's still a tradition. Anyway, thank you, gentlemen, very much. It's jets, not helicopters, by the way. But thank you, James, and thank you, Captain.
Good to see you, Greg.
I'll be right back.
All right.